You think I'm being typecast? I don't know. You think this cat is typecast? It's a fucking cat, you know? Ain't got much choice. What if he moved to a new neighborhood? You know, hung out with the poodle crowd, did poodle things, you know, become a poodle. Still be a cat, you know? But what if he convinced himself that he was a poodle and everyone else that he was a poodle? Wouldn't that make him a poodle? That's a good point. I mean, weird as shit, but that's a good point. And this whole metaphor is bullshit, yo. You hear me? You think everybody don't got a role to play? Huh? You think a white boy could have played Omar? You think you could play a president? I could. And I think we've seen the last black president for a while. I'm just saying. I think you're gonna always be playing some version of Mike. Gangster Mike, old-timer gangster Mike, southern gangster Mike. But I'm not a gangster. Everyone that knows me knows that. Self-denying gangster Mike. Look, I picked these roles. I made this path for myself. Did you? Yeah, did you? Or did they choose you? You think we would be doing what we doing if we had a choice? Huh? Face it, man. Look, we from a certain type of people that come from a type of place that look a type of way. You know what that make us? Black. Typecast. If I were typecast, I'd be in jail or dead. But I'm here. I got out. Got myself out. You sure about that?
God damn, that in a certain type of way now.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Welcome to a very special episode of Three Dudes Rant. We are here to celebrate the life of Michael K. Williams, who unfortunately isn't here with us anymore. It was a shocker, to be honest. It just came down the timeline, and I wasn't even sure of what I was reading or what I was hoping it was a hoax. It was just weird.
Called somebody a whole ass
Um,
liar when they told me. I was like, you.
and I don't blame you because I felt the same. I'm like, okay, this is not true. I'm gonna post this, and somebody's gonna say delete it because it's not
Yeah,
true.
it came across my
And
CNN app. Like that's how I found out.
wow,
I think I was working. I think I was working, and it just popped up on my CNN. Like, ah,
yeah, this. Oh, man, I mean, wherever you knew him from, whether it was him being Omar, which he alludes to in the am I being typecast dialogue.
There was a mistake in that though. Omar don't cuss, so that bothered me a little bit.
I mean, that's Mike being Omar, I think. So
But,
yeah, it's semantics. But no, whether you knew him as Omar or Leonard from Happy Leonard, or you knew him from you just recently met him in Lovecraft Country, or you met him in as Chucky White in Boardwalk, which I feel like was the best. Like, okay, I know a lot of people are gonna say Omar, but I feel like Chucky White was top
on
tier.
Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, I feel like that was top tier
I
for
feel like
like.
they let him really act on that though.
Yeah,
Like,
because he wasn't trying. He didn't have to be a gangster. He was supposed to be something else, and I think that's when he really just acted his ass off. I like that.
yeah,
Um,
I like Chalky, except like because that prison scene is one of the like I've rewatched that prison scene on YouTube with Burnsley in the prison. Is like what old Funk Hook Fenton doing now,
mhm.
and he talks to the guys. Is like, hey, how your papa doing? "Oh, good, Mr. White. Like, good
Right.
job. Well, I'm late now. I'll talk to him. Like, that was great. One thing about Boardwalk, I didn't like the Boardwalk last season. I mean, one of the reasons I didn't like it too much is I thought we could have had a whole spinoff about the Black Clubs experience with Chalky White. and I felt like there was a missed opportunity. Just
Yeah, there was a missed opportunity with that, but I also feel like they were stepping away from it. It's something HBO is kind of weird, or these people are kind of weird with that. I felt like they felt like, oh, we're done with this entire thing, so we're just gonna step away from it. But man, he's had awesome roles, and I'm glad I've been able to see all of them. I feel like this is a sad episode because we don't do episodes like this. We don't give out flowers to actors all the time, and we don't acknowledge actors while they're out, and it's something. I mean, it's something I like that we're doing it now, but I'd like to do it while they're still here. Like once a week or once a month, pick out an actor and just give him his flowers. Because for whatever, they could be here, they cannot be here the next day, and I would like to feel like I did that, while they were here. If they may never see the episode, but they may never even hear it, but it'll feel great to me personally. But again, we just really gonna sit here and talk about Michael K. Williams for a little bit. So,
Can I cut you off real quick, Mo?
go ahead.
Just for a split second. Like, I feel like you and I, we had a special thing with Michael K. just because we did Lovecraft Garbage, and us doing that, it was funny because each week we bashed that show,
But
but
we'd
each week
always
we went out
point
of
him
the
out,
way
though.
to really give Michael K. his
Yeah, because
just
that
due.
show, yeah,
And he
and
brought it each week, and it was like each week we're like,
each
dude,
episode,
he
yeah.
deserved a better script. Like, hey, anybody listening, go back and listen to our Lovecraft Country.
When especially the episode when they
and
went in the past, bro, that
yeah,
he was strong in that. Like he's good. So quick
yeah,
question. Where did you guys first get introduced to Michael K?
Omar on the Wire for me. Like, I remember I was 16, 17 years old, and I'm over chilling at a girl's house in Pigtown, and she had the Wire on over at her house, and I'm like, oh, who's that? Like, oh, that's Omar. You know what I mean? It's like ever
Mhm.
since then I got hooked on the character.
And
same.
yeah, because you're also in this.
I was a kid, late teens, early 20s, and I was doing like semi-professional modeling. I don't know what I call it professional, but and they came for a casting call to
This
like.
nigga cute.
I mean, I was all right back in the day. I need to stop drinking this beer with this label on it. They did a casting call. They came in and they wanted to grab people for The Wire, and I had never seen it, right? So me and this guy I knew, they wanted to grab it, and I was like, "What's The Wire?" And they was like, "Oh, it's cop drama." And I was like, "I ain't going no cop drama. Like, shoot, I don't know what the hell that, because I had a certain mentality about cop shows, right?
Mhm.
Like cop shows show cops as heroes, fucking with
True.
people that look like us, right? For no, I'm sure no, I didn't fuck with cops. So anyway, I ain't go. And guy went, and it was the scene where brother Musan sent his assistant to look for Omar to go into the gay bar to look for him. And the guy that was with me that went to the casting call was the bartender. I mean, it was a terrible line, but now he's one of the greatest. Like, even if it's just for a couple of seconds, he's one of the greatest series of all time. And so it kills me to this day. I didn't accept that thing, but then I watched it after that, and I was like, "Oh, I had the complete wrong idea about what this show was." So
Let's talk about The Wire for a little bit. I think The Wire is one of the only cop shows that personally that I am okay with. I'm with you, Anthony. A lot of cop shows are very point the police in a light, and it's like they really do the whole like cops are good guys thing and all of that. But The Wire is one of the ones that I'm like, okay, well, I like it, and you could describe it as a cop drama, but you could also describe it as just life in Baltimore, and it can go both ways, right? You can almost leave out the cop aspect of it if you're going to describe it to someone who doesn't fuck with cops. You can almost leave that aspect out of it and describe it, and then you could throw in the cops as just like characters that happen on the show. Am I wrong?
I don't think I don't think you're wrong necessarily. I've watched so many analysis of The Wire that I'm pretty sure I'm going
Right.
to plagiarize somebody at some point. But one of the ones I liked was that you were talking about the systems in Baltimore, and the systems
Right.
were gods. Like, so when they said the gods will not save you, it's more about these systems will not
Right.
save
Mhm.
you.
Right.
It's how you function in it. And it was like everybody's caught up in the system. As Expanse would say, everybody's caught up in this churn. Another character from
Mm.
Baltimore from Expanse. And we're caught up in it, and you're just playing your role to get to the end kind of alive with a little bit of money and a little bit of dignity and a little bit of your body still functioning. And that's what everybody was doing. So the one thing The Wire did, which blew my mind, was it just didn't show the cops as good guys and drug dealers as bad guys, because I mean, I ain't gonna speak for y'all, but I've known drug dealers. I know drug
Right.
dealers I would trust more than I trust some cops, you
Right.
know. And you know, but they showed they were all people, and that was the
Mhm.
thing. These people are people, no matter what side of the quote unquote law you are, and that the law is profiting on both sides, right?
Right.
And it was a scene where Omar is waiting for a trial, and they're giving him the bailiff was having trouble with a puzzle, and he says the Greek mythology, and it was and later on I read in the scene, like, you know, it was some fact that inner city youth really take to the Greek mythologies, and I was like, wow, that's really it's really interesting. They went that deep into this
Yeah.
character, and
Deep
it showed
cuts.
how
Yeah.
intelligent he was. Didn't have much formal education, but he was clearly smart. I don't know. It showed him as a whole person, and he was a homosexual male, but that wasn't his whole identity.
Yeah.
Right.
And I love that though, because
Yeah.
I think that's something you complain about a lot in stuff in media
Mhm.
right now,
Mm-hmm.
is that they make it the identity of the person, and it overshadows one, the acting, two, the character, and it's just, oh, homosexual. Omar was able to be a homosexual gangster and that not be, because you could run into the risk of making that his personality or making
I
that
think
about his character, but they didn't. They were able to balance that really well with, like they were able to do justice to the character, even though that was that.
yeah, but see what Omar is weird because Omar is they like his sexuality wasn't even a thing. Like it was even though they brought it up in what season later end of season 1 or season 2. I forget
Mhm.
which season it was, but it was like
Well,
it
season
wasn't
one,
even
they brought
it was
Omar from
season
the
1.
show back.
Yeah, when he was in the bed with the dude, right? But like the way
Remember the
how
little dark boy, little light skinned boy with the
yeah,
hair? He was yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like but to me it was like oh like they didn't really focus on the sexuality part. So like when you say oh well he was homosexual, it's like no, it was like he was just this guy that was on this one man crusade or whatever, and it just so happened his person of choice was a man. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like you could like that. That wasn't like a major focus. Like his major focus wasn't a love interest or anything like that. Like he wasn't a trope either. Like you mentioned, Mo. But it was like
Mhm.
they really did a real great job at really just making him a fully identified person, and in the midst of making a fully identified person go, hey, look, we're going to kind of change your thought on what a gay man is in Hollywood and make this fully identified person, his sexual preference is just happens to be another man. You know what I mean? He's not motivated by women. So
Yeah.
actually, you can't even use his sexuality as a weakness because now what you consider weak as far as a man, a man that likes another man, you can't even use like you can't even consider that weak. But like typically, what was always been other men's downfall, another woman, right? So how
Right.
like let's say later on, Marlo could have been like, oh, I'm gonna send this chick at him, we'll set him up this way. Like you couldn't even do that with him. You get what I'm saying? So what you
Right.
would define as oh a weakness is like oh no that's actually his strength because he's not even motivated by pussy.
Hmm.
Right. And it was interesting, like when you go back and you read the comics, especially the comments that would come up in the day in the clips and stuff, and it'd be like, you know, I ain't for that gay stuff, but I understand. I respect Omar for going after what they did for Brandon and whatnot. So it was like salt, like people accepted, you know, that you could have this badass who like man ass, and it wasn't and it wasn't a thing. and he was one of the demigods of the city at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that and he was kind of a larger than life character in this grounded series, and that's
Well,
really
you know why?
off.
You know why though? Why he was such a larger than life character?
Wow.
So the real
Yeah, I know. I'm
Omar.
just stepping off to like blow my nose when I.
Okay. The real so Omar Little, a lot of people believe it was based off of this gangster from New York named 50 Cent. That's not who Omar actually was based off of. Omar was based off of a boxer from Baltimore who got locked up during the whole heroin trade that was involved in like sticking people up and stuff like that, was really involved with the real Barksdale gang and all that kind of crap. And when David Simon was a detective here in the city, he worked side by side with David Simon. So when Omar basically got a lot of time shaved off for being an intricate part in knocking down the Barksdale gang, and yeah, like it's a whole deep story. But Omar, so like, what's the boxer name in the show? When he comes home, not Cuddy. Is it Cuddy?
Cuddy. Cuddy's
Yeah.
the boxer.
Yeah. So like the real life story of Omar is a mixture of Cuddy and Omar.
That makes a lot of sense then, because they
Interesting.
were the most fleshed out characters in this. All the characters fleshed out. I shouldn't say that, but
Yeah.
they were some of the most fleshed out characters in the series.
Yeah, the real guy Omar just died like about 5 or 6 years ago. Like the
I
real
heard
guy
that.
who was based off.
And I also heard at one point they had him. I didn't know he was the boxer and everything, but I know they also took the stories of two other like stick up guys from that era and kind of rolled in some of his stories into that. So, and it was a character that, remember, Obama went on television and said my favorite TV character is Omar Little, which to have a black president say his favorite TV character is a gay criminal.
Which it didn't do him much favors, because they turned around and started, oh, Michelle's really a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all in all, all in all, I really do appreciate the character of Omar Little. I really do appreciate, The Wire. I was actually a latecomer to The Wire. I actually watched it because a friend of mine suggested it. I don't know how I missed it, but I watched it later because I think I was busy watching The Sopranos, to be honest.
Most people didn't watch The Wire when it came out. Most people
Thank
didn't
you.
watch The Wire until it was almost over.
Thank you. So I don't feel bad now. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that.
HBO did not market that show. That show
no, they didn't.
Awards. One of the greatest television shows in American history didn't win any awards.
It's a shame.
At least I remember. I could be wrong.
I thought they won a few Emmys. I always thought they won a
one of
couple
the writers won an Emmy. The show itself and none of the actors won any Emmys.
Wow. You know what? Let me look that up real quick while we're talking. Anyways,
crazy fun fact while you look that up. So
yeah, I'm gonna look it up. We're gonna move forward right now. So we're gonna talk about. We started talking about.
You can't have us one fun fact.
We're gonna come back to it. I'm gonna look it up while we're discussing this. I'm gonna bring it back up. But yeah, let's
go. There was no blank space while you're looking it up, but you got
right. You was trying to.
Nice.
That's not why you typing, but that's all
right. Hey. Welcome to 3D's Rant. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Try to keep us some time on schedule and shit.
Chalky White, Boardwalk Empire. I think, again, like I said, this was the one that I started. I started watching this one and I watched it all the way through. It didn't matter what was going on. I was always here for Chucky's storyline. I was always here for whatever he was doing. I 100% was behind this character. I was 100% behind this, the guy playing the character, and I loved it. Granted, I am a huge. I loved Boardwalk Empire, but I really, really loved. I almost called him Omar, Chalky White, because honestly, it felt good, even though I knew the time period and all of that stuff. But it just felt kind of good to see it. Go ahead.
I like to think that all HBO shows are connected. So I like to think that Chalky White is Omar's ancestor. Also, I like to think that when he showed up in The Sopranos and The Projects, that's when Omar left Baltimore to go up to New York for a while. That's the same character that was in The Sopranos doing teaching Jackie Jr. to play chess. So I mean, that's just my own. That's my own.
You know what? I am not. I would believe you if that's the if you had come to me and told me that without me seeing all of this, I would believe you. I would 100% believe you. But yeah, Chalky White, I was 100% behind the character because again, it's a timepiece, and I was like, it's good to see this. You know, he's still being treated how he's being treated, you know, by everybody else, but it's just good to see that he has a little piece of the pie, I guess. You know, it was fun.
And he earned it.
Yeah, and the respect from the top guy, you know, Nucky. It was fun. I liked what they did with his character. I love the show, and I think that I mean, Omar was his breakout, but I feel like this was the one that, in my opinion, put him like where people were like, yo, he's actually really good.
I think this
Personally.
was him being a fully formed actor, and
Right.
his first main. I mean, like in the other ones, like Omar's great, right? But
Mhm.
but The Wire was a rough show. Like the Wire wanted to be Baltimore, so you would have like regular people, and you could tell who was an actor, who wasn't for a lot of things, or who was playing
Right.
himself in the
Right.
role. Where and Omar stood out because he was one of the actors, right? Like Idris and what's Barksdale?
Avon, Tavon.
Yeah.
So the awards. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's a bunch of writing awards that I'm looking at. I don't see a lot of actual.
And make sure those awards aren't nominations.
Let me see.
No, because they won some writing awards. I thought they were nominated for.
So nominated for American Black Film Festival, The Wire. It won Best Edited 1 Hour Series. American Cinema Editors. It won. So you're talking about major awards, right? Like, say,
didn't they win something for wardrobe once? Because that's what I was about to say. Fun fact: when I was dating, I was dating. My best friend was dating.
Just a bunch of Primetime Emmy, Outstanding Writing for a Drama Series.
Maybe that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, again, it's a bunch of. There's a bunch of NAACP awards.
Now you go to Sopranos award list. I bet you'll look a lot.
Yeah. Sopranos awards list is insult. It's an embarrassment of riches. Like
yeah.
So,
but yeah.
Chalky White.
Yeah. Chalky White.
So you had a character that came in, earned that respect just the way he did, but it was him as a fully formed character. And so he was still not only hanging with the other great actors in Boardwalk Empire, he was surpassing in the scene. He was
he came into his own. Yes.
Yeah. And I think that everything from that, and again, the last season of the Boardwalk Empire disappointed me. Fun fact: the guy Nucky Times was based on got caught at the end. Got caught at the end of his career, went to jail for 2 years, and got out. And I was waiting for this line for the whole series. When they asked him, "Was it worth it? Was it worth it?" He's like, "To live the life I've lived and do 2 years in prison, yeah, it's worth it." And I was waiting for that line at the end. But in America, you have to kill the criminal. So, you know, is what it is. And that was also disappointing with Chalky, because they wrote him kind of out of character to me at that fifth season, I think. And that sixth season. This man that was about his family, about his community, kind of just gave it all up for like some random, like you said, years later, his ancestor would not fall for the folly that Chucky White did and fall for the pussy. The genes evolved.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, Chalky White.
I always felt like Chalky White was like, I don't know why, because I keep want to call him Omar, but Michael K was not a large stature man.
No,
like, he was a small frame guy, and it seemed like Chalky White's character was just larger, like just a bigger character. Even though like they went out their way to show him not like they showed his stature all the time, but no matter how they positioned him, he just seemed larger than everybody else. Maybe because he ate up so much screen, or like I don't know why.
His chest puffed out, and
he was. He was really like, even in this picture right here. You like if you saw this person, you would think like this is. He looks like such a boss. He has a commanding presence on screen.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to say. Yeah. And the character had a great commanding presence. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I resonated with the character or liked the character a lot is because like just whenever you saw the character, you heard the character, or whenever he spoke, you had to listen, and when he spoke to these people, these white men, they would listen to him,
He was
and
legit
that's
a role model. Like there
yeah,
was like legit like this is what you should aspire to be,
right,
or
right,
something inspired to be like.
right. Moving on to a character that I'm pretty sure that Kyle you're getting familiar with, Leonard Pines from Hap and Leonard. This
Yes.
is I'm gonna say this real quick. This is the show Lovecraft Country wanted to be,
What is this
but
show?
Hap
Yeah.
and Leonard. It's on Netflix.
I'm like,
It came on Sundance Channel, and I watched it while it was on Sundance Channel, and all 3 seasons now on Netflix. It's
I'm
really
gonna watch
short,
it
like
now. So 3 seasons.
yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
like
watch it.
six. It's
yeah,
like 6, 7 episodes, and
I'm
you
3 episodes in. Is yeah, I like it. I
could
really
try to
do.
connect. You could try to connect. You could try to figure out how to connect Omar to this. I would love to hear that one.
I'm
But
sure.
no, so this is on Happen Leonard. He plays Leonard Pines, and this is supposed to be like there's this some type of horror element. There's a lot of what you see in Lovecraft Country, but then there's a lot of funny in it. So there's a balance of a lot of elements on the show. I think this is
I'm
where
glad you told me that because I wasn't sure if I should be laughing at these parts or not.
oh
Because I was
no,
like,
yes,
because
you're
it had
supposed
such
to.
a serious, like it had such a serious tone, but it's like the comedy's there. It's like,
Oh,
is this supposed to be funny? Like I don't know.
yeah, yeah. And to me, to be honest, this is where I feel like again he evolves to another level. It's almost like he ascends to another level where you get to see so you've seen him as Omar, you've seen him as Chucky, Chalky, and now he's kind of a funny guy. He's supposed to be serious, but things that he does, the way he says, the things he says, he's funny. And again, this guy's from New York. He gets to play a
A country
southern,
bird.
a country person, and he's pretty convincing. It's kind of really weird.
Yeah.
But no, this was this is a show that I recommend everyone watch and get to, just if you want more Michael K, just get to watch it and get to familiarize yourself with the character and just see like how he has range. He has range. Again, when before we started this cast, I played the am I being typecast? And it's funny that in that dialogue, right, you didn't get to see a funny side to him, right? And actually, no, the side where he was talking about the cat, if this cat goes to live with poodles, and I thought
Yeah, I
it's
thought
kind
that
of
was kind
funny,
of funny. Yeah.
right? And so, but you didn't get to see the Leonard character in that, and it's again, I thought I think everyone should go watch Happen Leonard. I think when Kyle is done, we are definitely going to talk about it. Hopefully,
Yep.
Anthony watches it and in like one day, because Anthony speeds through shows.
I don't really sleep, so that's kind of rough.
See, I like to
Um,
dissect, so it takes me a while. I'll watch the
Go ahead.
episode like 3 times just to dissect it.
hmm. Can we also talk about some of his documentaries and his other like?
Yeah, we're gonna get there. I just want to talk about his major roles real quick. That's fine.
But yeah,
But go ahead.
just seeing him, and he's gonna be one of those actors that you can hear his voice. You know what I mean? Like those
Yes.
actors that
Yes.
if you read something they say in an article, you're like, I can hear his voice. I can feel. He's gonna be one of those actors that you could do that to. And now like when you know some of his history and now we know we seemingly know the circumstances of his passing, and how he acted pain.
Mhm.
And those times when he could tear up and he could like I
Bring it
think
from almost nowhere.
right and I think he drew a lot of his own personal struggle
Mhm.
and put those into his characters. And if that's one defining trait, he could be funny, he could take himself a little non-serious, like not seriously, but he could get joy. I've been watching the thing of him dancing
Mhm.
Yes.
people been sharing that clip of him dancing. But I think the way he expressed the pain of his characters, and I think he linked that to his own life. And just seeing that little clip of the thing you played earlier, I'd seen that before, but I don't remember what it was for. And he was like, "Did you get out? Did you?" Like, I mean, that's
I did it.
haunting.
Yeah.
And I hope that people don't think that. I heard people talk a lot about weakness when it comes to certain challenges, right? Because we all have
Right.
challenges,
Right.
and it's not weakness. If you think about it, I'm gonna make this a little geeky. There's a character in Watchmen, I think it's like Mothman or something. The guy with the butterfly wings that goes crazy. You see him
Mm-hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And another comic, one of the writers saying like everybody calls him a coward because he broke and he was afraid, and he always talked about he was afraid before he flew. And I always thought, yeah, but he's the bravest guy I know. He's deeply afraid of flying, but to be a hero, he straps on those wings and jumps off a building every day. And I
Right.
think about that when people are dealing with their struggles with substances or behaviors or anything like that. You know, they're battling against this every
Hmm.
single day, and and when you do the stages of change, like Kyle, no, we work in that you're going to reset at some point. You're
Yeah.
gonna go back in. I don't want to even say it's failure. It's it's you're learning what worked, how to maintain it, and you might learn. All right, that didn't work as well. Let me go back into the drawing board and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I when things like these happen, I notice like that people kind of shake their heads or like wonder why or people get I hate that word weakness. They got to name it a weakness or whatever. No, they're brave every day. They're brave every day, and they're pushing against this. They're fighting this demon every day, and yeah. So I mean, that might not make any sense. That was a little bit of
No,
a
no, that
rant.
makes
No,
total
it
sense.
does. It makes 100%. It makes a lot of sense. And I think the worst part, I don't know if I'm able to add to this because I don't have the experience you and Kyle have, but I think one thing that's super important in that we notice in America is the addiction isn't treated as a disease. It's treated as a bad thing. And
Depending on what color you are. I really want to be very frank, and I come from a position where I have that right to say that, and the reason why I have that right to say that is, see, you're laughing, right? But there's truth in
Mhm.
every
It's
joke,
a lot of
right?
truth too. You're right.
So
You're right.
I have the position to say that because I have the privilege of working in two different environments. I have the privilege of working in poor Baltimore City with the most underserved people that battle addictions, and I get to see how it's a stigma and how it's treated as a bad thing, and how you're incarcerated and everything falls against you. You lose your housing, you lose your income, everything just happens bad, right? Your whole family hates you, all this good stuff, right? Like they're better than you, right? Like they're a
Hmm.
paycheck away from being in the same boat as you are, but they look down on you, right? So I got that opportunity, and then I got opportunity to work in one of the most richest counties in the whole state, and work with those people with addictions. And I get to see exactly how different the system plays with these people with these multi-million-dollar homes that's sitting on the water, and these trust fund babies that have these beautiful
Preach it.
houses. And so it's like I can speak from that because I see it from both ends. I work in both areas.
There was a
Right.
thing on the. Did y'all watch Raising Canaan this past
No,
episode?
I
I
don't watch
still
the
haven't
show.
watched that show.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just during the last couple months of the past, I speed through shows. So like two
Funny
months
you
ago,
brought up 50 cents during that stuff.
yeah. But 2 months ago, I started The Power. Went through that. Skipped book two because I don't like that little kid. And I've been watching Kaden, and they talk about how I guess they accidentally come across fentanyl, and they kill some black folks. And the guy's like, "You just sell it over to those white folks, right? Because if three of them drop dead, we all get in the chair, right?" And it's some truth in that, right? It
Mhm.
don't
Mhm.
matter. It don't matter. Drugs don't matter, or the pain don't matter until certain people drop, right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And
Which is weird because now it's become a thing. It's the opioid pandemic or the opioid epidemic,
that
which
become
is
a thing until
weird.
pills starting going into middle
Yeah,
west.
that's what I'm saying. Until it started becoming a white problem, and now it's an epidemic, and we
Yeah.
don't have to incarcerate people. We can treat them. But I still feel like at the essence of it, it's still not being looked at or looked at as a disease. It's still a stigma to it. It's just starting to maybe change and not change as quickly as it should, and it's really sad.
As
Well,
bike
look at
riders.
the
Oh,
no, no,
good.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, you ever see that, this Louis C.K. show, and he gets into an accident, and they're like, it was like, oh, what happened? You got into an accident? He's like, yeah, I got into an accident. What happened? He's like, I was on my bike. And they go, oh, you're on your bike. Are you okay? And it's kind of like, we still get your concern, but oh, you're on a bike. That's kind
You on a bike, yeah. Like
it's
you
kind of
asked
your
for
fault.
it.
You're on a bike.
Yeah, you asked for it.
Even though I'm the only bike rider right now on this.
Oh man.
But yeah, so I feel like that's what you're saying. Like they
Yeah.
might feign some sympathy, they might, but ultimately,
Ultimately, it's, oh,
we still
you're on
look at it
drugs.
as your fault.
Yes.
As your fault.
Yes.
Even though we can say that we can show we can show you the research, we can show you the history, we can show you how these addictions can be working, and maybe the what could be contributing factors to them. At the end of the day, society still looks at you're weak, it's your fault. If you were stronger, this wouldn't happen. Oh, if you loved your family, this wouldn't happen. It's things like things are still here in sessions. So,
but it's weird. It's like, and I really want you to come out to my part time sometime, man, because it's weird. Because on the other side, it's handled way different. Like
All the
those
way
that don't
through,
look
all the way different, or there's still a little bit of stigma to it.
here. Let me put it to you like this:
Okay.
the court system has a
Okay.
thing called
Well,
drug
that
court
makes sense.
that's designed to help to make sure certain
That
things
makes
don't happen.
a lot
Look,
more sense.
and
look,
before you get to sentencing, there's this other program that if you can't, it's alternative sentencing or something like that.
they have fast and drug court. Like, so you have that. Also, the way how it's handled is they have the police department and the fire department have what's called safe stations. So do you know what safe station
No,
is, bro?
I'm just
Yo,
chuckling because what the fuck?
it,
You're
I
about to
could
tell me
come
some bullshit.
I could come
Like I
in
feel like
there.
you're about to tell me some bullshit.
I could come in there right now, right? Addict, right off the street.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm about to go to court tomorrow. I'm gonna get busted for whatever, and I'd be like, yo, you know what? I want to get clean. I want to go on treatment. On the county's dime, they're gonna go do everything they can to get me in treatment and cover me for at least 28 days.
Man, get the. I said you were about to tell me some bullshit, and you did.
Right?
Hmm?
Postpones your court date and everything like that too, right?
Oh yeah, because now you got case management services and everything by the county, and now you're covered.
I just knew you were about to tell me some bullshit.
Because now you have a disease and you need help. That's the it's handled so different, and it's funny because I remember about a year or two ago, one of the supervisors at my part time was talking to me. He was like, "Yeah, you grew up in the city and everything, right?" Like, yeah. He was like, "Yeah, I know. Heroin kind of hit y'all bad recently. Like the opiate pandemic hit y'all kind of bad too." He was like, "Cause y'all had crack back in the day." Like, oh, bro, no, you got it completely wrong. We had gray and crack. And believe it or not, the stereotypes tried to make it seem like the epidemic was killing us. Honestly, heroin was killing my hood worse than crack was. I was like, it was the white people that was coming in Westport that was buying up the crack. But I was like,
Crackers.
yeah, but I was like, the heroin. I was like, we grew up playing football and basketball. I was like, I tell people this all the time. We play football in the streets, but the reason why you can never tackle a dude from Westport is if you look on the ground, there's tons of needles and
Oh,
broken up
man.
needle cases. So that's the reason why you can never tackle somebody from Westport because we don't go down. Like because we train very early. No, I'm dead serious, dog. Like there's a basketball court off of Hollands Ferry Road right by the train track, right? We couldn't play on that basketball court growing up because there was always used needles on the court. And there was a playground right next to it, and every kid knew you couldn't play on that playground.
That's wild.
And it's like that in every city. Those the vials or playgrounds. Period. Playgrounds. Period. You get a cut, you got AIDS. like that's how it was growing up. I don't want to hear anything about like this is just what you thought when you were growing up. You were worried if you got cut with something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No, if somebody sneezed and didn't cover their mouth, those was fighting words. Like on God, like off top, if somebody sneezed out loud at you and didn't cover their mouth because AIDS was so scary back then, you was getting punched in your mouth. Forget all this social distance stuff that
That
everybody's
happened.
social distance
That happened in
about.
Georgia, and it's so weird now that because when we were kids and that happened, and now everyone is all like social distancing and or rather it's fake. It's no man, whatever. We're not doing that one today. I don't have energy to rant on that because I'm tired. I'm tired. But no, two more shows I want you guys. Has either of you ever seen The Night Of on HBO?
Oh, yeah.
The night after night. I feel like I did.
Yeah, it's the one where the I want to say he was Indian or Pakistani kid gets framed for, or not for. Well, I want to say the show. Nah, I just ruined it. But he gets
The murder happens,
accused
and
of murder and
someone
rape, and it's showing how the system can ruin your life. Even I don't care. It's old. If you see,
I did see it.
if you
yeah,
ruin your life, if you're even if you're innocent, right? Just going through the
right,
system, being innocent, and if you're lucky enough to be able to prove, because you're not innocent to prove you're guilty in our system.
right.
If you're
No,
innocent,
not
lucky
in
enough to
America,
get proven
especially if you look a certain way.
yeah, look at certain thing got a certain bank account. But
Look
even
a
if
certain
you
way, you got a certain bank account, and if the person that is if the person involved in the murder, if the dead person is a white woman, you are 100% going to jail.
I want to say he went to
Yep.
Rikers. Am I right? Did he go to Rikers?
Yes, yes. It
And
was in New York.
I think they're trying to close Rikers now, right? Right.
Yes, yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Was
I
it
heard
right?
it. Don't quote me. I believe they're
Huh.
trying to close it, but then COVID happened or something
Yeah,
like that.
I know they've been trying to close it for a while. Like that's why I didn't know how real this was. That was going to happen this time because I know that there's been a campaign for like over a decade or so.
But it shows you take somebody that doesn't take any. I would not do well in prison. So you take somebody in prison. They're dealing with all this stuff. They can't afford it. You got to survive in prison. They tell you don't get any charges in here because it's gonna look bad on you if you go to court. And you just showed this kid and how he had to survive.
Right. And then they give you an attorney, and then your attorney is super busy, or just because it was, what's his name, John Turturro, who played the states the free attorney, and it's just, listen, but outside of that,
Michael
he
K.
yeah, Michael K shines again as Freddie. Freddie, who ends up taking the kid and putting him under his wing and trying to help him navigate life in prison, and hey, look, man, you're gonna have to put your head down, because I think in the first 2 weeks that he gets there, he gets like hot oil or hot water dumped on him, because apparently it's a rape, and they don't look too kindly on rapists in prison. And so Michael K kind of takes him under his wing. Yeah, it was.
No, I was just the irony of that.
That's why I
But
say yeah. That's why I say yeah.
oh,
Ye-
We don't like that rape kind of here. Don't drop yourself in the shower, babe.
yeah, and there's a
We don't
lot of
like your
things.
kind.
So yeah, like he gets like,
it's an excuse. Like,
because he's like really, yeah, by the time he gets into prison, he's kind of famous because he's all over the news, and his face is splashed, and you put him in Gen Pop. But yeah, Michael K kind of takes him under his wing, and the process that he kind of helps him go through. Again, I feel like, so we've gone from Omar to Chalky to Leonard, and now this is a different character. This is a different character from Omar, even though it's supposed to be like a hardened criminal in prison. Even Michael K's character is not. He plays the character as if you want to root for him, because did he really do it? Is he really supposed to be here? And then there's a little bit of, damn, maybe he did do it. Maybe he is supposed to be here. But he plays the character so well that at some point you're kind of rooting for Freddie Knight. And last but not least, the last major TV role he was in, Kyle, you want to get
Love. Yeah. All right. So because it's him, I'm not going to call it garbage at the end. All right. It pains me to do this, but Lovecraft Lovecraft Country, not Lovecraft Garbage.
and I believe that he was battling some things during the filming of the show. He talked about a little bit of it. But again, we are asking this guy, as Anthony pointed out, now that a lot of his personal life is coming out, or it's more put in the forefront because of his death, you get to look at the way he played his character in Lovecraft Country, and you think about it, and you're like, dang, where did he pull all of this from?
And he was such. I felt like in Lovecraft Country, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, Mo. I feel like
Man, I
in
don't
this
know.
show, he was written like a two-dimensional character, but his acting was so good that it made him a three-dimensional character.
it elevated
Like
that ass raping, right?
It
it
did.
did, because I
And
felt
I
like he was.
think I think
Go
where
ahead.
it did shine, where he actually got away, got an episode to like really go through it, was when they went back in the past to like his home when they were children, or kids rather, or teenagers rather. I think that's one of the episodes where he gets like a real act, like his acting chops, and he gets to shine. When his father walks out and is whooping his ass, and he's staring at that, you know, and he has to relive his friend dying again,
Yeah.
and all of that. It's again, as you said, we talked about the show the way we talked about the show, but we would always point out Michael K is phenomenal, and he
He was a
was
shining
phenomenal.
beacon on that
Yeah,
show.
he
Like
was
mind you,
phenomenal.
what's my man John? I can't think of
Jonathan Majors,
the
who
Majors. Yeah.
who redeemed himself as one of the Kangs
Yes. But
from Loki, Anthony.
Huh?
Oh, you weren't paying attention. Yeah,
yeah.
Said
he
Lovecraft.
John.
I thought you got zoned out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, the show's garbage. But here's the weirder part about the show: the show's garbage, but the actors are phenomenal, right? The show had
Right.
a great assortment of black actors. It
Yes,
taking
it
not
did.
not taking that
It did.
away, but even though it had a great assortment of black actors, horrible writing, and everything else was bad,
Hmm.
there was this great tier of black acting right here, and then you look at Michael K. Williams, and he was always up here. And it's like he elevated each scene of that show, and I think his character was the most two dimensional of everybody else. Like it was just
I
amazing.
can see
You know what
that.
I mean? Like his
Yeah.
character I think was supposed to be a trope, and he just made it like, all right, this is the trope that you gave me, and I'm going to make this much more than what it's supposed to be. And he
Right.
did a great job at it.
Right. So I mean, again, like I said, this episode was to celebrate the life. Um,
But
look at.
can I talk about one thing real quick? I'm sorry before
Yeah,
we
go
move.
ahead. Go ahead.
So I was trying to figure out because I remembered part of the story, but I was trying to figure out where he got his iconic scar from. I knew it was after a party or whatever.
Hmm.
But I just read like some of his friends were getting surrounded by some people, and he kind of like halfway intervened, and the guy followed him and took it out and like swiped, like took the razor out of his mouth, like we used to do back in the day. I
Hmm.
remember girls used to keep the razors in their mouths. I don't remember guys doing that a lot. Like I remember
A
like
couple guys
girl,
did it. It wasn't like a normal thing for dudes to do, though.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But anyway, so about his mouth and like slashed him, and like he thought his career was going to be like really affected, but he got like so apparently he was talking about he got typecast for a lot of thug roles after that because
Hmm.
he has a kind of scar, and apparently his first major role was Bullet with Tupac Shakur.
Yes.
Really?
Super
Yeah,
old. Yeah.
I
Tupac
didn't know
Shakur was
that.
filming a movie in New York called Bullet opposite Mickey Rourke. He recalled to NPR and the production office that they were working out of in New York happened to leave a Polaroid picture of me from me going to audition in various music videos because he used to dance, I think. So he happened to see the Polaroid and was like, yo, this dude looks thugged out enough so he could play my little brother. And I think he saw the pain in my eyes, my struggle in my heart. And I was just like, I was starstruck, I was like, wow, that's Tupac Shakur. So his iconic scar got him his got him his
First
spot.
major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like that guy from Sons of Anarchy
So,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
Braveheart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Got the Glasgow
Yeah. I
Well,
know.
scar.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson has a permanently broken nose, and
Yeah,
he's
I
getting
know
there.
the story behind that, but that always distracts me. Like, I'm like,
Wow.
the movie,
Wow.
the movie's over. I've been looking at this man's nose this whole time. Like,
Like you have money, you could fix that, sir. Like, but like also another thing. So this is my own headcanon, right? Like this three dudes rants. This is Earth 2CC. So of course we could bring this in the comic book stuff, right? So he was in Incredible Hulk, the Incredible Hulk movie. If you
Wait,
remember
time
the
out. Okay, so I always get them mixed up. Incredible Hulk is the actual Marvel one, and then
Yeah, the actual
Hulk is
Marvel
the.
movie. If you
Okay.
remember the fight in Harlem, there's a part where you could clearly see his face looking. Yeah.
yeah,
Boom. So in my own head canon, because I was like, why would you cast him in that movie? And why
Hmm.
would you even give him that much screen time? Even though it was like 5 seconds, but it was like 5 seconds in the middle of a fight scene in New York, and it's
Right.
him. So in my own head canon, that's always gonna be Rick Jones to me.
Hmm.
oh.
Ah, you like that, right? So
Yeah.
Hmm. I can
so
see that.
anybody out
I
there on the
was
Reddit, please start that and give me credit for that.
I was just thinking real quick. Marvel really hates New York Because what the fuck?
No, Marvel loves New York. So that's
No, you can't love New York and destroy it every week, bro. Like every other week.
I don't know.
I mean, there's like 30,000 heroes in New York, and then there's like 80,000 villains. So it's
I
like
think
it's
Spider-Man
the
jokes
ratio
about
doesn't.
that like once every year in a comic. Like Spider-Man and
there
Thing
really
joke
should
about
be a
that.
crime. There's all these
Yeah.
other superheroes, all the major superhero teams, and like 30 different Spider-Man people now. So like,
Right.
why
Honestly,
are you a villain or even a
you
petty
have the Sorcerer Supreme in New York. There
why
really should be
why are
zero.
you snatching purses? Why are you robbing cars? Why are you robbing banks in this city? Go to Kansas.
You must have a fetish.
Yeah.
You must at this point you must have a fetish to get your ass whooped by a hero. That's what it is.
It's like why would you trap in Gotham City? like, why are you trapping in Gotham City?
It's not worth it.
It's
not.
Worth it.
It's not.
You go to catch the hands from Bruce, from Dick, or God forbid you come across Red Hood.
Or any random villains might say, "Hey, you're my henchman now. I don't want to dress like a clown."
Yeah, there's no way.
You don't have a choice.
Could you imagine two faces rolling up on you, just flipping a coin? Like, I like you. You're working for me now.
You're working for me now. Pay your face.
What would you say? No.
Yeah, right. To be a low-level thug in Gotham City, it has to be the worst place ever.
No, seriously. It's
like, could you imagine just selling the eighth, trying to put your child through school?
End up in the hospital because Batman beat the shit out of you.
Like dislocated your elbows.
Now you're homeless.
Where did you get the eighth? Bro, it's a fucking eighth.
And if you just Spider-Verse, he branding you too.
Oh my god, you're dead in prison.
I just know the top.
Imagine buying the eighth because your mom has like cancer and you just need the weed because you can't get it from a dispensary.
The buyer, it's always the seller Batman beats up because of that privilege that we talked about earlier. You ain't never see Batman buy just the buyer. He always beating up the street corner people. And
you know what? Right.
Gotham's pretty much the only city in America where all the street people don't have a pell-mell in this game.
Hey, I'll take it. I will take it.
You know what? That makes sense. Black people was like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, black ain't no normal black person living in Gotham. And if you do live in Gotham, you are too smart to be out there. Especially if you live in Snyder Gotham.
Bad random people. That's some white boy stuff.
Here's the thing. Everybody knows Batman has hands. Black people are not known for losing fights against white boys. So we're going to see.
Bronze Tiger hasn't Bronze Tiger given Batman a hand?
You know they're going to joke him. Oh, you let that boy whoop your ass, that white boy in that crate whoop your ass. Batman should say, "Shut up." Like, as soon as you leave again, they're going to joke you.
Yeah. Facts.
So you already know what's going to happen. Like, you're like, yo, they got the superheroes. A white boy, he got hands. Every black person in town be like, it's going to be one that's going to try it, realize, oh, his hands for real, and everybody like, we're going to Bloodhaven.
You ever see that video of that guy that rolls up was like, "I'm from New York. I don't know where he at. I'm New York. I represent."
Oh, yeah. I've seen. And then that white boy beats his ass, bro. Lays him out. He's bleeding, falling into shit because he's knocked out. Yeah, I hate seeing videos like that because I'm like, damn it.
Like, why?
But I mean, I think I don't know, man. It saddened me.
This is sad
because he's also a good advocate for a lot of great causes. He had HBO around the different places, and they talk about the prison life, addiction, things like that. Showed the different streets. Took the characters, the woman that plays Snoop, and took her around. Took her around, told her story. He was an advocate, man, and I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's a great loss that we haven't really felt yet.
We haven't really felt yet, and it's gonna be sad.
He was only 54 years.
Only 54. That's crazy. Because if I'm doing the math, that's 20 for me. Like, it's crazy, man.
You know what's up? He was in Birth of a Nation too.
Was he?
Remember the kid that snitched? That's who he grew up to be. Remember the kid was crying, and then they showed the battlefield, and it's him.
He
Damn.
also whipped Chris Rock's ass in that one movie.
He did.
He's like, ah! I forget, he was in some other movie and he got killed, and somebody in the crowd went out like, "That's what Stringer Bell." And I was like, I think y'all rooting for the wrong people in that show, but well, okay.
Yeah, that was The Wire.
No, he died in something else. It was a movie. I was in a movie theater, and he died in something. And people was like, "That's what
Someone was like, "That's what Stringer Bell."
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
I do really like that death scene, the Stringer Bell death scene.
Yeah,
It was phenomenal.
that was the most poetic death scene in the whole show.
You're going to do it. You're going to. I can't talk you out of it.
Mid sentence.
Also, that was a death sentence for Omar. Because that was back and it started that cycle again. I think let's add the sadness of him gone. I'm glad that we can celebrate some of his moments and when he met the people, but also for where he came from to be on CNN, his passing is talked about on CNN and fans the world over are mourning right now, and appreciating your work. For any craftsman, that has to be an honor. Like if you get to look back and see that that you left a mark, and that for 100 years at least, that people are going to know your face, if not your name, and your work at least. There's worse ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's worse ways.
Ultimately, man, I appreciate you guys doing this episode with me. This is something that I can't wait to either of you see happen, Leonard, so we could actually keep talking about Michael K. Williams.
I'm on episode 3 of season 1 now.
Yeah, I can't wait, so we could talk more about Michael K. Williams and actually I do like James Purefoy, but Michael K. really shines here. Thank you guys for watching the dude's rant about. We didn't really, there wasn't really a rant here, but we will be back to rant because things are happening, movies are happening, theaters are happening, movies are failing.
Is that a Game of Thrones reference, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be cutting down my world travels. Mo going to stop doing his mysterious night vigilante stuff.
Yeah, he's going to Seattle doing some weird stuff. Like,
right.
Oh no, we're taking a picture from that angle. That's what's happening.
Kyle hanging up his black Air Force One's energy for a season. Y'all safe again. Y'all can walk out in the streets again.
Yeah, so we'll be back. We'll be back to rants. There's a lot of things to rant about. I mean, like I said, movies are happening and failing. Movies are happening and succeeding. Shang-Chi just came out this weekend.
Are we going to rant about Shang-Chi?
It did well.
Do I have to see that now? Do I have to see that tomorrow?
I guess we'll have to see it.
I do want to rant about it just because. All right, so for those that don't know, we have a chat, and in this chat, Mo and I got into it about where we rank Shang-Chi, and I feel like this is rant worthy, right?
Oh my god!
Because Mo and I got into this already.
No, trying to put Shang-Chi in like the top 5 of the MCU, bro.
God, no, I am not trying
relax,
to do that.
Relax. You said
bro.
What was it? Top 7?
No, I said top 15. I said I put him in the top 15. In the top 15.
Okay, so you know what? Matter of fact, top 15, number 15.
Yeah, I put it 14 to 15 slot. That's fine.
Okay.
So 14, 15, you're going around like the Wasp and the Ant-Man type of area, or
yeah, the one that had to happen so we could get Endgame.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I'll try to catch it tomorrow so we can rant about it.
All right, so we'll be back.
I'm lazy now. Like
to be honest, I'm with you. I would tell anyone. I mean, it's making money though because Asian.
Let me explain something. I'm not gonna say I'm the one person that's Asian friends, but I have a wide variety of different Asian friends and family. This is the Black Panther of
I knew it.
Of American Asians. I ain't gonna say worldwide, but so a lot of American Asians like 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. This is the same stuff I've been hearing with Black Panther. Best movie ever.
Black Panther by far was not the best movie ever.
Right.
But you can't tell any
we're
black
not
person.
We're not doing that. We're not going there.
Yeah, because this will get this is like
That's
what's
the one that I just couldn't wrap my head around. It was the Aquafina one. I'm like,
I need to figure out how they're telling me that she's an Avenger now, so I gotta watch the movie just to figure that out. Because
wait, what?
that Aquafina's an Avenger. Did that happen in this movie?
Yeah.
watch the movie.
Mm.
We've seen it.
So that part. So
No,
there's
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. He has to
no
watch it.
Anthony and I talked about this before.
Oh,
I like
okay. So
as
go ahead.
all three of us are comic book readers, right?
Right.
So I've shared in the past. I know I shared this with Ant. I'd never liked Shang-Chi in the comics. I just never
It
did.
was
Like I thought he was
horrible.
I thought he was boring, dry. Like I hated him in crossover
It was a
comics, all
stereotype.
that. Yeah, like it.
What's a stereotype?
Well,
Like
you know,
what?
one thing was worse about him being a stereotype. Like there was what's the one? I think it's the inclusions, inclusions, whatever it's called. Like where they had him at the end of time or whatever, in one of the times, and it was like. They had him drawn white because they got tired of making him a stereotype at one point. I was like, how did he survive? Like, here's Thor and Ares are the last two basically god beings alive, and they're suffering. Thor has one arm. Ares is like one eye or some crazy crap, and Shang Chi's like just chilling in some garden and looks white.
White.
Like, what is this? What is this garbage?
He was specifically made to mimic Bruce Lee. He's a thing of the '70s, and
Hmm.
Hmm.
for a specific time. I think I've only liked one story with him is when the X-Men, I don't want to call him a villain now because all mutants are heroes, I guess now, but the Gorgon came after him and Shang-Chi had to struggle and he lost that fight as he should. He should not win fights against like certain levels of mutants and things like that.
Oh,
Uh,
he's winning every fight. MCU Shang-Chi is unstoppable.
well, because I'm sure he's
But
the most powerful thing in the universe now, right?
Well, there's still Wanda and there's still Captain
The
Marvel.
trailer I specifically saw said there's nothing in your universe more powerful than these rings.
but
So
you see how he
something about
no. You see how he said Wanda and I think Doctor Strange. He didn't say anybody else, but he said Wanda and Doctor Strange. That is letting you know.
No, I said Captain Marvel. I said
Oh,
Captain Marvel.
Captain. Still, but that's letting you know where he lines up.
look,
Mhm.
I don't know how good this movie is or bad, but I do think the way they're writing the characters now, this is like the death throes of the MCU. They're making a lot of boring OP characters.
Hmm.
Perfect.
For no reason. You don't have to make OP like the best part about Marvel comics was the fact that there was something that you could relate to the characters about, right? As a person outside of the costume, and then it was like they weren't OP. So like when they went against OP people, it was like, all right, well, how are they going to overcome this? Like the thing that made Maximum Carnage so good was it was like nonstop. Peter's trying to fight Carnage with a broken rib, and he's like completely outmatched, outgunned, and has to partner up with Venom, who's completely weak at this point. And it was just like, dude, now he's fighting Carnage, he's fighting what's her name, Scream, and he's fighting Doppelganger. And it's like this is impossible with a broken rib, and like at that point in time, they was trying to make Spider-Man OP. Now Spider-Man's stronger than a Hulk in the comics.
I guarantee that I'd rather watch Daredevil from the series go through a hallway scene than anything I see in this movie. Like I guarantee I'm already there.
Well, I will
But
say the bus fight was
Kyle,
pretty good. The bus
Kyle.
fight was pretty good.
But then again, this is something that people have been complaining about since Iron Man. Iron Man. You're fighting someone with your exact same
I
power
am
set.
tired of that. They already spoiled that for me in the freaking trailer. I do something else.
So you're
That
not gonna tell me what you're
did
not
not
gonna.
do that.
This is exactly why I'm not gonna sit here and be like this is a 10 out of 10 movie, and I'm just gonna watch
It's
it and just
not.
keep it moving.
It
I'm
is
just gonna
not.
watch. I, you know what? Let's do the fucking rant. Let's
Thank
do
you.
it. Let's do it because that's what you want.
But it's not.
You got what you
It's not
wanted.
10 out of 10.
You got what you
The view,
wanted.
the
Let's do the
viewers
rant.
want to hear us do this. Like I'm
Let's
not
do
doing
it
it for
then.
me.
I'm
Let
down.
me, let me do my
I'm doing it for
predictions right
them.
now. Let me do my predictions right now.
Me, 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 me.
Shang-Chi is a perfect character in personality or whatever, and then he's going to be power level perfect, right? So there's going to be really flaws or probably any weaknesses.
Mhm.
We're going to have, I think in the trailer, that's his sister, which it looks like. I think it's his sister in the thing. She's going to beat his ass at some point. Or they're going to allude that he should beat his ass at some point.
So,
Abomination
are you describing Black Panther?
Abomination is gonna get punked, which further punks the Hawk. So if you can beat the Abomination, which was a Hawk villain,
you're never gonna let the whole thing go.
And I doubt they give the Abomination a whole scene to get beat too. I doubt they give the Abomination a whole scene to get beat. But if he does, he still got beat in the scene, which was a Hawk major villain, and it looks like Wong beats his ass. So I have so much bias against this movie, but I will go. Besides that, I will go. Oh, and the third act is going to be garbage. The third act is going to be garbage, and I'm going to rant about it. I'm going to hate it.
Okay, so just open your mind, open your mind's eye, go see it, and come back and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My vote. But I trust you, Kyle. You say it's a great.
No, I said it's a good movie. Not great.
Said
it's
great.
not great. I said great.
Ever.
I apologize.
See it. He said it was the movie to end all Marvel movies.
No.
Yeah.
He said
I'm about to pull up the receipts.
I need to erase all other Marvel movies from my mind because all I need to do is see Shang-Chi is what Kyle said.
Oh God,
Shang-Chi
no.
Is it?
I thought Shang-Chi was a good movie. I thought it was better than Black Widow, which I know
debatable.
Black Widow's third act was trash too.
Thank you.
But it's still debatable.
And Taskmaster. Why'd you do that to Taskmaster? I don't care about the gender swap. Why'd you take the personality?
I don't care about no Taskmaster, man.
You Wolverine Deadpool'd Taskmaster. You Wolverine origined. You know what? I'm sorry, Mike. Okay, we tried. We were gonna go.
No. We're gonna end this right here before we go. Let's end this, and then we can talk after.
We got a rant.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Like and share, and we will
5
catch
stars.
you.
We need 5 stars. All podcast catchers, 5 stars. Get us up them charts. We do this for you guys.
We will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Lovecraft Country took me on an emotional and mental roller coaster that I was not prepared for personally, and thank God I had the cast and these amazing angels around me to hold me up.
Amen. It's all right.
It's okay, Michael.
All right.
It's okay.
Love you, Michael.
Won't he do it? Look at that. Look at Misha. Come on. Come on,